with another one, and today I'm going to be looking at BTC. I'm going to have a little look at ETH. I'm going to have a little look at BTC dominance. I'm going to have a little look at usdt dominance. They're the only four that I'm really going to look at today, because I've got a pretty busy day with just moving over to Discord. Right here we're moving over to Discord, and we've got a lot to get through today, so let's get straight into it, guys. So I'm on BTC. I'm having a little look at BTC today, and I've got some zones of interest that I'm looking at the minute, which have been tagged. To me, this looks like a possible flush towards this downside if we have a little look. But you know, it's like, oh, it can change in the crypto market. And my apologies, my computers are laggy again, and I don't know why. I really don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna go through the whole computer again. So these are my levels of interest I'm looking at. We've literally tagged into the one that I said last week that we were going to tag into. Right here, we've tagged it. We have moved from that zone because I knew there were going to be a lot of buyers in here, so I took some profits from my short. Excuse the phone. You know, we've moved about 2% from that zone right there. If we drop down into the 30-minute and have a little look on the 30-minute. So if we're having a little look here, that's going to pop up a lot, and I can't do nothing about it at the minute. My apologies. So where we are at the minute on the 30-minute chart, if we get the volume profile up, let's have a little look, see where we are, which is the current day volume profile. Zoom it in a little bit. Literally, we're in a tight range in this little volume profile. So we keep dropping to the value area low, pumping back to the value area high, dropping to the value area low, pumping to the value area high. And we're probably going to do that until America comes on, and then America will come on and it'll go like that. You know, that's just what America do. So at the minute, where we are, here to here, we're probably just going to have a tight range. You know, we're probably just going to do this for most of the day, and then America will come on. They'll probably either sweep it up, sweep it down, sweep it back up, sweep it back down. Get used to it, because that's what America do. And you know, here was a great area for a long, because there was people there. I knew there were people there that were going to be buying BTC at 111. You know, like I say, and it went 3%. To be honest, I don't trade weekends. That sort of move started to happen. Let me have a little look when it started to happen. Saturday around 7 o'clock, that sort of move started to happen, and then, you know, we push off. You know, and it's just having a little look here. Now, if you'd have gone long on that candle there and put your stop below there, you got stopped out. Most people would have done that. And then what they did was they manipulated it down, stopped people out, and then it's done the full move. So they ended up getting stopped out for no reason, because, you know, they didn't want to put the stop loss a bit further down. But there's no area of interest where I can see here to put my stop loss. So personally, if you're a gambler, you know, keep trading like that. I'm not trading like that. I'm not that sort of trader. So yeah, I'm not that sort of trader. I like to wait for levels of interest. Like I say, I don't trade on a weekend. So unfortunately, I missed that move, which makes no difference to me whatsoever. But I did catch this move here, because this was in my trading plan. And from here, I think it was 116 that I got in at. Let me just have a little look here. Try and have a look. About 116.4 that I got in. And I caught a nice 4% move. I'm still in that trade. And I'm not really worried about it, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people got spooked out here when it came back up. They've closed the trade. Fortunately, they missed a nice 3% move. So these are the zones that I'm looking at. We've got around between 117.6 and 116.00. And then we've got 111.981 towards 109.300-ish. As of now, we are still trading below the value area low, last week's value area low. And if you have a little look at this volume pocket here, just have a little look. You know, once it had dropped below that, it came back up, it retested that high volume pocket and then fell off, because people were like, I'm not sitting holding this bag of shit. You know, I'm not going to be the one that's holding the crap. Whereas all the big players, they're loading up at the minute on BTC, which is sort of like understandable. I get it. But on the other hand, if we go into the daily and just have a little look, I'm trying to get rid of these. Yeah, I've got rid of them now. So if we have a little look at the volume here, that volume is still declining. The volume is still going down. You know, I want to see something like this coming into it. You know, and as you've seen this before here, you know, we do this sort of move, volume declining, it pushes back up, you get a big volume spike at the top of the zone, and then it falls off because the volume starts to decline. You know, and this is maybe what we're going to do here at the minute. You know, we could do some sort of like choppiness down here and then come and flush these zones out. Because I've got important zones around here which I will update in another video. So I'm going to get on to ETH. ETH, another one in a fairly important zone at the minute. I ain't sorted all this out like an absolute sausage. Let me have a little look. That's the anchored. That's last week's volume profile. Yep, we need that. Let me just move this a second. Well, I'm at it, I might as well. What we'll do is we'll lock that and close that. Right, so where ETH is at the minute, we closed below the value area low, last week's value area low. I'm sure I've just turned them notifications off. Honestly, at the minute, on the bigger volume profile, we are trading above the value area high on the bigger volume profile. I am expecting a test. You know, we could do something like this. I am expecting a test of this zone here before we move off again. That's what I'm expecting, a test of this zone. Your 200's still, you know, trading up, and your 21's starting to go sideways on the daily, which we've seen before here. And then, you know, you're getting a little spike, possibly have a little spike back into that zone there, and then fall off. Because that's where all the high volume node is, up at this zone here. So that's what I'm expecting in ETH. I am expecting a test of this zone at around 3k. I will be loading up on ETH at around 3k. That's my sort of zone that I really want to be loading up on ETH. Like I say, this is only going to be a short video today because I've got a lot to do. I'm doing a lot of home renovation at the minute. Like I say, we've started the new Discord, and you know, I'm really busy at the minute with what I'm doing. USDT dominance, we'll have a little scan of this while we're at it. We might as well. So USDT dominance, I I'm having a little look at these zones here. We're in another important zone in USDT dominance, so it really won't surprise me if USDT dominance plays around in here for a little bit, and then eventually, you know, comes and tests this zone up here before we do eventually fall down. Falling below this zone and starting to do something like that, then yeah, we've got potential of testing that zone down below us here, which is another important zone in my opinion on USDT dominance. So, you know, I'll give you a little tip: stop listening to all the absolute morons that are on YouTube that are telling you that this is going to do this and this is going to do, it's going to break down. All they are is just permabulls. They've got no sense of the actual markets. All they are is people that have put money into stuff, they've got lucky with it, and now they're an expert in reading charts. They're an expert now, and you'll see all your bollocks that they put on, and you know, it's brought down the trend line. Well, last time it brought down that trend line, what did it do? So if we get a trend line from here and put your trend line up like you did, you know, mark that trend line all the way up to there, yeah. They didn't say that it were going to test the top of that trend line again, though, did they? No. All they said was breaking down. Shut up, you sausage. I've got a clue what you're doing. So if they're going to do another trend line, they're probably going to do it from here and get it to mark up to there. So if that is another trend line that they're doing, then if that's what we've done previously, come down, hit. Technically shouldn't hit. You know, do something like that and hit that trend line again. That's why I don't really use trend lines. I'm not slagging people off for using trend lines, whatever works for you. But you know, the problem is with a trend line, you can put it wherever you want. Like, I could put one here. You know, it's not like it's marking out at all. And all it does is make your chart look like shit. So if you have a little look here, say they put another trend line from here to here, shouldn't that really test that trend line in effect? Shouldn't we come and test this trend line up in here, which where my zones are anyway? So it really makes no sense to me for that trend line to be there. You know, if we consolidate in here, we possibly are going to come back down and test this zone. But if we consolidate and come up, you know, then we're going to technically test the trend line above our, just in my opinion. Because haven't we seen that before here? Sure we did. We've seen it before here, where they said you had your crossover of your 21 and your 200. How long did that last? Not very long. So if we're technically getting one of these now, what's going on? You know, we're going to end up in Wick City for a little bit. And then they're going to be like, we're breaking down. He's breaking out, blah, blah, blah. They're all full of crap. And they've got, you know, 1.6, 1.7 million subscribers. And they consistently get it wrong. If you want to watch somebody that consistently gets it wrong, go subscribe to them sausages. Go do that. You know, it ain't going to make a difference to me. But, you know, they're consistently wrong with everything that they do, and they've still got all them subs, which is baffling to me. Baffling. And no, before it, oh, you're jealous of this. I'm not jealous of the subs, because all they've done is get people wrecked. And the people that watch my channel, I think it's about 700 that I've got, 650, whatever it is. They've never been wrecked. So, you know, you go sub to them if you want. I'm not right bothered. So yeah, these are the levels that I'm looking at in BTC. ETH, like I say, we're in an important zone at the minute. You know, they always say, you know, bearish engulfing candles, all that, blah blah blah. Well, isn't that a bearish engulfing candle? Isn't that a bearish engulfing candle? Are we trading, if people use a fair value gap, are we trading inside a fair value gap at the minute? And the midpoint of that fair value gap's around the value area low of last week, at around 3.6. Just saying. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here now, guys, because I've got a lot to do, like I say. Home renovations, things like that. I need to go and have something to eat. I'm not eating yet, so there will be new links in the description as well, for the Discord. I'm gonna see if Slim's doing his bot still. I don't know. I think Baccarat's link is exactly the same still. I don't know. Might buy me a coffee is still the same link. I'll have my Twitter or X link, that's in the description. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Happy trading.